Hey everybody, JJ here, back again with another Saturday of Zoom networking. And we have a whole slew of awesome guests, but there's honestly no one I think I've been looking more forward to getting to know because I've seen this young man at many events. Um, he's just a rock star in his own right. I mean, he walks silently and carries a big stick, and the big stick he carries is his presence. He carries a pretty big camera too, but he is just an all-around great guy. He's a photographer. He started out as a, I'll let him tell you what he started out as. He's got a pretty interesting background, but he's married out of the Phoenix area. I should let that cat out of the bag too. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today, a really awesome young man, Mr. Eric Bahlman. Eric, how are you?
What's up, JJ? I'm doing good, man. Thanks for inviting me out.
It's a pleasure. Every time I meet you, you're just always so nice and polite and kind, and we got to hang out a little bit on Thursday for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, that was great. It was a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Hey, again, for those that don't know you, where exactly do you live? What part of the country are you from?
I'm in Arizona. I'm in Chandler specifically, but yeah, in the Phoenix area.
There you go. It's home of Dodger spring training.
Yeah, born and raised out here.
That's a beautiful part of the country. I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
So, we met through Sub 2,
hmm
and when I met you, I guess you're still doing this a little bit, you've been Pace's photographer, videographer for a while now.
Yeah, so he's for over 3.5 years. I started working for Pace September of 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And now let me ask you, I know you as that guy with the camera and you're with Pace, you travel with him.
Yeah.
What did you do before you got into videography? Is it something you've done since you were a kid or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. It all started with me back in high school. All my friends got into BMX riding, like freestyle X Games type of BMX riding, and we just love the sport and we just love to document each other. So I picked up my dad's like handy camera, and we would go out and ride our bikes and film each other and just collect as much video footage as we could, and then we can come back and watch it again, like, oh, remember that time that I fell and I was so funny, and or do you see that cool trick that he did, like, let's watch it again. So I got an early taste of videography just through riding BMX and me and my friends wanting to document it. So that was my first experience into filming. And then I was also in the AV, I had an AV class in high school, so I did the morning announcements and stuff like that. So I just always had an eye for media and for photos. There's something that always just kind of piqued my interest. So it was natural for me to evolve into, and we'll get into how I really got into it later. But that's kind of the start of it. It's where it all started.
I think that's cool. I've had a lifelong love affair with photography and film.
Yeah.
There were many, many years ago, I had taken a avid editing class out of the UCLA Extension, and yet I quickly found out that system and equipment is I could buy four houses for that.
Yeah.
So I then discovered something called Final Cut Pro that you could do on an Apple computer,
hmm
and met a guy that was teaching Final Cut, and I've learned it a little bit, but I do defer to the experts when it comes to editing. But
Yeah.
there's nothing funner, I think, than playing with the film and editing and putting stuff together. So I envy you as far as what, say when you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life.
hmm
And as you're enjoying what you're doing, I tell all the people all the time, what is someone else's work can be someone else's dream.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just loved it. Again, so my friends put together, my friend Ryan Chadwick, shout out to him. He put together like a local DVD. So it was all the local BMX riders got together, and we would stack up all these clips of us riding, and he made one long DVD. It's like 40 minutes long or something. And we had like a premiere. We went to like a movie theater and had it up on the big screen and had everyone come out. It was super epic. So being around him and watching him be like the main videographer and like putting this stuff together was just really cool. And that kind of got me more experience around like the editing aspect of things. But then also this was right around the time when Instagram came around and everyone was starting to post stuff online and their photos and their videos. So I quickly started to just jump on the bandwagon and post all my writing clips. And so that was a lot of fun. I started to learn about social media, how to use it, how to engage with people, how to interact, what would get people's attention. So that kind of slowly evolved. And then fast forward a couple of years, I was writing for quite a long time, and I was getting noticed, and I got sponsored by a couple different brands. So I was sponsored for about 7-8 years, something like that.
Cool.
So that was really cool to be a part of. I was able to have a couple sponsors, go on a few road trips, go to a couple events, things like that. So I got a good taste of what that looks like, of being a sponsored writer, and not only writing for yourself, but now you have to represent the brand that you are sponsored by. So I got a good taste of how do I portray myself online that looks good for the brand? How do I promote them? So I got a really good understanding of how social media works and how to present myself on social media through that.
That's invaluable. And for those of us in real estate, we know that's invaluable. Really kind of quickly, how did you meet Pace? How did that come about? Because, it's like, there's Pace, there's Eric, there's Pace, there's Eric.
Yeah.
You're always there, which is because you're awesome at what you do. But
yeah,
how did you come to meet Pace?
Well, so my BMX career was going pretty steadily, but then I'm about to turn 39, but this is when I was about to turn 30, and I realized, oh crap, I can't do this for much longer. I'm getting old. It's taking a toll on my body. It's a lot of work, and I need to figure out an actual career. So it was right around the time where I hit 30, I bought my first actual still digital camera. I bought a Sony A6000 to be exact. And I just used that camera to take photos of me and my friends. All my friends were the top BMX pros in the industry. So I just took a bunch of photos of them. And actually within the first couple months that I had that camera, one of my photos got published in a magazine. And I was like, holy crap. Okay. I guess I could see this going somewhere. And so I continued doing that. My photos got published in magazines, on t-shirts, posters, catalogs, the little hang tag on your complete bikes in the bike shop that was hanging off the end of that. So I tried to create an actual career out of it. I tried to get into actual photography, and this led to family photos, graduation photos, things like that. And nothing ever really stuck, because coming from a BMX background and everything being super action packed and exciting, and being in the moment, out in the field, running around, to being in a quiet location and asking little Timmy, hey, can you scoot over a little bit or make smile? And so it was a lot different. It was a stark difference from the two. And it never really stuck. I didn't feel the same passion as I did in that as I did for the BMX. So I always kept the photography thing up on the side. I would always did it as a side project. Sometimes I would get into little really creative type of photos that I would post. Even during COVID, I went through a stint of where I had to post a photo a day, and I had to create these really interesting photos. So I got into photography, kind of stumbled around with that. My wife and I tried to start a business where we're helping other businesses with their photos for their social media and things like that, and for their website. So we did that for a local tea company. There was a local spa that we did some stuff with. And again, still, it never really felt like I had the same passion for that as I did previously. So I'm still kind of just stumbling along. At this time, I was working at a restaurant for 11 and a half years. I worked at a restaurant. I was there for a really long time. I had every position you can imagine. I was the general manager, and then I was a bartender for the last 5 years, and just trying to find my way into photography. And so my friend Bobby Canode, which some of you might know, he's Jamil's videographer. At the time, he was also a filmer in the BMX industry, and we were really close friends. And he started to freelance with both Pace and Jamil. He was helping them with YouTube content and social media stuff like that. And at the time, they were filming a commercial for Triple Digit Flip. It was their first promo for the Triple Digit Flip series on A&E. And Bobby was like, dude, this is a big deal. This is my first national commercial that I'm going to film and edit. Would you mind coming out and shooting some behind the scenes photos? I just want to document it. I want to, capture this moment of me shooting such a big event? And I said, sure, yeah, no problem. I didn't really think anything of it at all. I didn't even know who Pace and Jamil were. He just said, yeah, here's the address, come on over. So I went over there, met Pace, Jamil, Laura, Rahima, the whole crew for the first time. And I just did my thing. I just took some behind the scenes photos of them behind the camera, the whole crew. There's like an audio guy, there's a lighting guy, there's the whole crew there. And so it was a lot of fun, but I didn't really think much of it, So as things wrapped up, I was driving home and I get a text from Bobby and he's like, hey, Pace wants to hire you full time. And I was like, wait, what do you mean full time? A full-time photographer? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I've never heard of someone hiring a full-time photographer. Like, what could he possibly need? And he's like, well, here's his number. Reach out to him. He will get back to you and he'll break it all down for you. So I get on the call with Pace and I'm like, yo, so you're saying you want me full-time? Like, what do you mean? What does that look like? He's like, dude, you were on set. You were just hustling. I saw you working. You were getting your things done. All the photos look incredible. And through like good word of mouth through Bobby, I understand that you're also fluent in social media and you seem like the perfect fit for someone to come on my team. This is right around the time where Pace was like really wanting to ramp up his social media and take it off his hands. Because before he was doing everything himself. He was posting everything, doing everything. He's like, I need someone that can follow me around, that we can create content on a weekly basis and just really make an impact. So, to say the least, I was nervous at first. Coming from a job that I worked at for 11 and a half years and as the top bartender, if I left that job, I'm not getting my shifts back. Like that's a highly sought after shift. And if I leave, I'm not getting those back. So I told them that. I'm like, I'm a little nervous because if I leave and this doesn't work out, like I can't go back. And he's like, okay, well, how about we do this? I'll give you a 30-day trial. You come on, you'll work for me during the day, you go work at the bar at night, and we'll just do 30 days and let's just see how we vibe. Let's see if this isn't even a good fit for either of us. I said, okay, sounds good. So I go home and tell my wife about this and she's like, who's this Pace guy? And so she does her investigation on him and looks at his social media. And my wife being the person that she is, she just loves to help and just love to improve things. And she's like, his Instagram it's such a mess. It does not, we need to clean this up. So she was like, before you guys go out there, I want you guys to actually have like a strategy session. I want you guys to go in with intention. And I want you guys to not just go out and just film anything and everything. Like, let's go in with some purpose. So she created a little video, like a little screen recording on her computer talking about like a before and after photo. So she had Pace's current Instagram page and then the one where it could look like, and she photoshopped out all the little squares to what it could look like. And she just did this on her own will. She wasn't asked to do this. She just wanted to help. So she's like, before you guys go film, show Pace this video. I was like, okay. So I go over there the next day and I said, hey, excited to work for you guys or for Pace. But before we start, my wife wants to show you this video. I think it's really important that we watch this video. He watches the video and he's like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible. Like, does your wife want to work for me too? And I was like, who are you? Like, this is so confusing. Like, you're just hiring people at random. And so I asked him like, well, what do you need her for? It's like, I don't even know, but I just feel like having like a female perspective, like to overlook like the cohesiveness and the brand and the design and the colors. Like she just had such a good viewpoint on like the situation. I would love to hire her out for, just a couple hours a week, like super minimal and just need like little advice here and there. I was like, okay. He's like, what's her number? I'm going to call her right now. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, what's her number? There's no better time than right now. Let's call her right now. Okay. So Pace calls her up and she's just caught off guard. She's like, hello? He's like, yeah, hey, this is Pace. I just saw your video. It's incredible. I need you to come work for me. She's like, wait, for what? She's like, I just need your vision. If you can just work for me a couple hours a week, I'd be super stoked. So she's like, okay, I'm down for that. So we both started literally the same day. And my wife, again, just being the person that she is, just loves to fill holes and solve problems and like, how can we do this better? How can we improve this? So she just quickly just started finding little holes or little things that we could tweak. And hey, let's try this, let's do that. And she quickly became a full-time employee. Within the first month, she's like, dude, we need you to be in what we're doing. So she got involved in the whole back end of things. And so she ended up being, fast forward a couple of years, she ended up being Pace's director of operations. She ran his whole social media team. So at the beginning, it was just me, her, and I think 3 other people. Fast forward the next 3 years, she was overseeing 30 people. So wow. It's pretty incredible. So she did all the hiring, all the firing, the systems, the processes, she did everything. She automated Pace's entire media company and really helped scale it to where it is now. So, I mean, we started with him with about 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, and now he's at 3 something. Same with Instagram. I think they're around the same, maybe 30,000 followers, and now he's at 530,000 or maybe even more. I can't even remember where he's at now, but yeah. So her and I collectively have been able to really help Pace build up his brand. I was out on the battlefield with Pace, traveling, going over to his house, doing all the things. And then I would bring the footage home and she would delegate that to the entire team. We had a whole team of, we have 5 video editors, 3 graphic designers, 3 social media managers, the whole 9 yards. We had an entire team, and she was like the Wizard of Oz. She was behind the scenes running the whole ship, and not too many people know her name. So her name's Giselle. If you guys have heard her name pop up every now and then, Pace would mention her every now and then. But yeah, so the both of us just had a really fun time building out Pace's brand. So that's a lot of fun. That's where it all started. Yeah.
Wow. And so now you're about to move it onto your own thing now. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. So after working for Pace for over 3 years and being surrounded by this incredible community of entrepreneurs, I kind of, got the bug. I was like, I've always wanted to start my own business, but always felt insecure about going full time, even when I was doing the photography, it was always on the side. It was never a full-time thing. I never fully jumped in. And so, I just knew that one day that I wanted to start my own business and go full all in. And actually, when I first started working for Pace, it's the first week in, he told me that he wants me to get so good that I leave him one day. And that was something that was really powerful for me, because it showed that he actually cared about my growth and that he cared about me as a person and how can I succeed and grow and outgrow him. He's like, I don't want you to leave. I wish you could stay around with me forever, but ultimately I want nothing more for you to grow and to have your own business. So that was always in the back of my head. So the biggest thing I think that made that deciding factor was this last fall when my dad passed away in September. That was a huge shift in how I viewed, just my career, my life. And, life is just so short. My dad was 33 years older than me. So it really put things into perspective that I only have, what can I do in the next 33 years? What can I accomplish? And I just decided I need to just jump. I just jump and just have the faith, take the leap of faith and go all in. So I had a conversation with Pace about it, and he's like, dude, yeah, I want nothing more for you to be able to do that. So, it was definitely hard for him, for me leaving, because he knew that I was such an integral part of the content that we got. But I always told him, I'm like, you're top priority. I will always make your priority. Whatever you need me, I will be there. So at the end of the year, December 31st was my last day, and I started my first business, Bahlman Media, January 1st. So now I'm all in, and things have been amazing. And I still work with Pace from time to time for specific events, or I was at Squad Up Summit for 6 days, and so they just hire me out for a per project type of basis. So it's been a really fun journey, and I've been able to work with multiple people within the community, helping them with YouTube stuff, helping people with setting up their podcast studios. It's just been so much fun. And it's a different level of accomplishment. I think when you're a W-2 employee, there's only so much where you can feel accomplished. But then now that I'm on my own, it's 20 times better. There's something that's just so good feeling, and like you build your confidence of like doing something on your own. Like, wow, I can actually do this. So it's
You know what I like to do is my dentist recently has the opportunity to double quadruple the practice and have multiple locations, and they're looking at going online and having videos, social media, and I think I might just have to make that introduction for them to you and have you, be able to enter into the medical field as well as the real estate field.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I can introduce do for you over there. Um,
Yeah, it was scary. Another part of my journey is that I've always had bad money issues, like severe anxiety around like that's why I had that job for 11 and a half years, like security. I need security. I need to have a job at all times because I was so afraid of like taking the risk and jumping out on my own and doing my own thing because I was so afraid that if it failed, like I'm going to be broken on the street or something like that. Like I was so afraid of not having that steady income.
big step,
And
big step.
yeah. And so that was another huge thing that I had to overcome. And when I just took the leap, and it's been amazing so far. So like I feel like all that melted away once I just took that leap and I just trusted myself, and now I'm more successful than I was before.
Cool.
It's just incredible.
So, Eric, well, I'm curious because I'm now starting to want to grow a little bit. So, do you do like 1 day events, 2 day events for real estate investors? If probably maybe local, but even going to like Dallas or Florida or anything like that, would you something you're considering?
Yeah, my wife and I were actually just talking about that, about having like a little like 2 day event where we can get together and teach people about social media and the strategy that we've learned. Coming from a place where we've built an entire system, an entire company like that ran one of the most the busiest guy you can think of, like a content machine, Pace Morby, who would post 3 posts a day on Instagram and 7 YouTube videos a week. We've been through it all. We know all the strategy. We know all the little things that we picked up along the way. And so we definitely have talked about wanting to do that so we can help people out and help them grow their own social media presence.
And then people can also engage your company, engage your service to
Of course.
other
Yeah.
events. Great,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Because my wife has her own business as well. She started her own business where she consults and helps people with their strategy. So,
Felicia Smith, you are on with Eric Bauman. What's your question?
hey, how's it
Hi,
going?
Eric. It's going good, JJ. Eric, thank you. And congratulations on your business.
Oh,
My
thank you.
question is, and I think maybe we all have this question, what settings should our iPhone be on as far as the still picture and as far as the video? And then is there a certain app that we should use for editing or just use what's on our phone?
I highly recommend. So for editing, I highly recommend the app called CapCut. It is a very user friendly. It has a ton of features. It has auto captions. It is amazing. I think they have a free version, but I use the paid. I think it's like $80 a year. Totally worth it. It's a write off. It's for your business. So I highly recommend getting CapCut. CapCut. And for
Okay.
the iPhone settings for your camera, I typically shoot. There's an option to change your camera, the photos to like a RAW, so it takes like the highest quality image possible. For your video, I always recommend 4K at 30 frames a second.
All right.
And then make sure, there's a lot of people don't know this, that on social media, typically Instagram, I think TikTok has the same thing. I'm not sure if Facebook has the same thing too, but make sure when you are uploading your content that there is a setting in there to upload to the highest quality. Instagram will default to upload your content in a lower quality so they can save on their bandwidth and their space on their servers. So you have to manually go in there and change it to upload to highest quality. And you can just Google that. How do I change my setting on Instagram to the highest quality, and you'll be able to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, of
Valuable information. Thank you so
course,
much.
no problem.
Felicia, thank you so much. Andre Frank, you are on with Eric Bauman. What's your question?
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much for having me, JJ. And I really appreciate the story. What a tremendous, amazing story. That was so wonderful to hear. My question is, Would you be able to speak on like the first 6 seconds of retention? Like, what are some sort of best practices and methods and tactics that you kind of employ to kind of like get people to want to watch the rest of the video?
Yeah. Visual hooks are always a key component. You want to make sure there's some action or some movement so it grabs your attention. You want something that is like a pattern disruption. So if it's you picking up a cup off the table and it goes to your face and you're like, hey guys, something like that. Also, I always try to stay away from, so there's this thing out there, it's called a millennial pause. I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but when you start recording and you don't speak until like the next second, like make sure if you do that, that's totally fine, but make sure you edit and you clip that little second out. So the second someone scrolls to your video, it's automatically playing. Another big thing is, a lot of people will introduce themselves. Hey guys, it's Eric here. No one cares. No one cares it's you. Obviously, they know it's you and you're talking. They want to know what's in it for them. There's so many people on Instagram and all these social media platforms. We're on there to either be entertained or to be educated. And if you don't hit me in the face with like what I'm going to be watching or what I'm going to get into or what value I'm going to get out of the video, then I'm probably going to keep scrolling. So you have to get straight to the point, or even you can have like a little title on the screen that has, it's almost like kind of like a YouTube title where it says the topic that you're talking about. I don't know, you guys have probably seen that where someone's talking and it says like the top 3 things, or like you won't believe that this happened. It's a visual hook to get someone to lock onto those words and say, oh my gosh, I'm about to get this type of value out of this video. So the first 6 seconds, honestly, the first 3 seconds are the most important for all social platforms. And that even goes for YouTube as well. YouTube, I would say the first 10 seconds are most important, because if you've noticed when you're on YouTube and when you're scrolling through, it auto plays, it starts to preview the video. If it's not engaging enough in those first couple seconds, like why would I watch the video? So YouTube is just as important to have a visual hook in the first like 10 to 30 seconds of your video so they know what they're about to get into. Does that answer your question?
Andre?
Absolutely. That was so wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Andre. Thank you so much. Yeah, brother, that was huge. What you just dumped on us right there. Dumped on us. That was some great information.
Yeah.
I know I, for one, definitely want to catch up with you and see how I can, work with you, and you can work with me so that we could continue my growth, at least the direction I'm going. I'm still consider myself a new guy. So being around this industry, have you yet thought about acquiring passive income for yourself?
I have. Right now, I'm really focusing on the media business. So I know that I'm taking kind of a pause on the real estate stuff. But even when I was working for Pace, I've done 21 deals. I've done 16 Gator deals, and I've done 6 wholesale deals. I'm just about to wrap one up right now with a couple people in the community. I'm going to make $5,000 on a wholesale deal based out of Illinois, I think it is. So I definitely, but I own my own property, but I don't have any buy and hold or passive income. Right now, it's just, the today money that Pace talks about, either wholesaling or Gator stuff. So those are the 2 strategies I'm leaning in right now, mainly because Pace told me, he knows people through and through, as you're probably aware. And so a while ago, a couple of years ago, I was like, what's my avatar? Who should I be? What should I be focusing on? And he's like, you're a Gator, 100%. Gator and buy and hold. Focus on those 2 things and you'll succeed and you'll love it. So I'm like, okay. So that's why I've been focusing on the Gator stuff. And with the wholesaling is honestly me trying to find a deal, but it doesn't really work for me in the back end as far as like, and some of the other things have held me back from actually buying these properties is that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready. So I'm like, let me just wholesale a couple. Let me get through the paperwork. Let me kind of learn the ropes, and I'll eventually have some buy and holds too. So that's my goal. I would love to get a buy and hold this year. I think that's a goal of mine. By the end of the year, I would love to have a property, or even a stake in a property, something. Now I got my own business. I need something to write off these taxes. So.
Yeah, yes, you do, and you're such a good spot. I mean, you're if I'm 20, I'm not going to say you're a young man, but from where I'm sitting, young, 60, you're still a young man. So you're way in front of everything, you're just around pacing other really phenomenal young folk. And so and you're right in the flow. So you're going to get exactly where you need to be. Rob Howdige, you are on with Eric Bauman. What's your question?
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, Eric. Hey, congrats, man.
Thanks. Appreciate
And
it.
I appreciate you being here today and sharing your story. You know what? Social media is so brand new to me. JJ knows my whole story, but I'm really excited to really start platforming hopefully this year and getting in front of the camera myself and doing what I can do to
Awesome.
promote myself. But I just want to say thanks. And you know what? This is crazy. I was at the meetup on Thursday. Can you do me a favor? Can you lift your hat?
I got the blonde hair.
Dude, okay. Okay, cool.
That's me.
Because you know what? You were kind enough to take a photo of me and Pace. And you know what? You, brother, you got such a big heart, and I can say that without even knowing you, because I didn't know till I got home and I looked at my camera reel. I want to say, hey, how did the shot come out? But you actually captured me walking up to Pace rather than that one shot, which demonstrated like my reaction to him and him looking at me. And I really appreciated that,
Of
man.
course,
So
man.
thank you.
Of
Thank you. That
course.
meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
So
I love that more than anything else. I love to be able to capture moments like that and to give like that's like my favorite thing to do. So I'm happy that it served you well, and I was able to capture that moment for you.
right on, but dude, thank you. That's all I want to say.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Bob, always good to see you, my friend. Michelle Connor, you're on with Eric Bauman. What's your question?
What's up, Michelle? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Eric. I had a question about my camera. So my husband bought me a Sony A7, and I was wondering how that compared to the one that you recommended, show.
Is it what? So there's a couple different models. What? It's the A7 what?
It just says steady shot inside
Mhm.
4K.
I would have to see. There should be some type of branding on there. But either way, if it's a 4K camera, I'm assuming. So the camera I'm using right now is my old photography camera. It's the A7 III. Oh wait, that's the A6300. What is that? But regardless of the camera, if it's a 4K camera, it's a really high quality camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly suggest that. So like my camera right now is an older camera. It's the A7 III. I think it came out like 6 years ago. I bought it this was my first like big boy purchase when I bought this in like 2018 or 2019, something like that when it came out. So if it shoots 4K, it's going to work amazing. All you
Okay.
need is you have a lens on there. I'm sure it's good. You could probably get a better lens. Honestly, the biggest thing you can do for a camera is the lens, is the how blurry the background is. Like right now, I have a lens that's a aperture of 1.4, which means the smaller the number, the smaller the focal field. So more of the background will be blurred out. So if you have like a 1.4 or even like a 2.8, those type of lenses will blur out the background and make it look really high quality and really cinematic. So I would highly suggest that. And then you can basically everything else that's on the Kevin Show podcast list, you can order. You might need a different connecting piece because I don't think that has an HDMI output on the camera. I think it has probably a micro or like a mini HDMI port.
Yeah.
So you'll just need like a micro HDMI to regular HDMI, and then everything else will be the same as that's in the Kevin Show, that his podcast setup.
Okay, great. I'll check out the rest of what you suggested on
Yeah,
there.
and hit me up if you got questions. Let me know. I'm a tech nerd. I love gear and I love all that type of stuff. So hit me up and I'm down to help.
Thank you, Eric.
Of course.
You go. Michelle, thank you for your question. Good to see you. Troy, what's your question?
Yeah, I love the backstories. Was a and all you've done. At what point on your journey did you actually decide to set up a business entity?
Well, actually, so I started Bahlman's LLC years ago with my wife when we were trying to start a photography business. So the LLC had already been set up, but it was just dormant for years. We never used it. We just had like the minimum amount that a bank account requires, and it just sat there for years. I think we even got a notice like, "Hey, we're going to close your account if you don't, there's no activity." So like it just sat there forever. But honestly, it wasn't until just now that I have been utilizing it because I'm fully on my own. Every other side project that I've done, I've just acquired it. I just would take payments through just my regular bank account. But now that I'm at my full blown business, like I'm going all in. I had to get a Stripe account set up so I can send and receive payments. I use Gusto. I have an editor underneath me, so I have to pay him out. So I want to do everything like as official as possible. I didn't want to do Zelle or Venmo. I just wanted everything to be legit and everything documented. So that way, when it comes to tax season, I have everything documented and I can write all that stuff off as expenses. So even the fees that are used through Stripe or Gusto, I can write those off as a business expense. So I just wanted to make sure that I got all those T's crossed and I's dotted. So that it was really up until I decided to go full time. That's when I really started to utilize my business entity.
Okay. Thank you. I was just curious because you've done so much.
Yeah.
And then I just was curious where along your journey
Yeah.
did you actually decide, okay, this is where I'm gonna.
Yeah. And then also with the real estate stuff, I got LLCs done right away because Pace is like, if you're doing any real estate stuff, make sure you have an LLC. So I went through Prime. I wish I had an affiliate code like Prime /Eric, but I don't. But I got my business set up through Prime and they took care of me. They got everything set up. I got my LLC in like Wyoming or whatever it is, like for my holdings company. So I got a holdings company and a whatever the other one is. I have two for my real estate and then my main one for my media business.
You're on with Eric Bahlman.
Hey, Karen.
Hey, Eric. Good to see you. Thanks for showing up today. It was good to see you at Squad Up.
Of course. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
So you talked about, having a W-2 mindset and working for somebody else for all those years and your fears about money. And I think a lot of us, including myself, can relate to that. Mm-hmm. So for other people that are not quite at the leap of faith stage, what advice would you give to somebody like me who really wants to step out on their own and start their own business, but I'm just not quite there yet?
Honestly, just surround yourself by other people that are doing the thing. Like it's so motivating to be surrounded by people who are doing it and have their own business. It gives you a sense of like security, like, oh, I can do it too. But also if something were to ever happen, I got this group of friends that can walk me through because they've been through all this. They've done that. They've had mess ups. They've lost money. They've been through all that. So my biggest thing, I think, feeling comforting, being surrounded by the right people and enough people that are in their own business, because my BMX background, BMX is just like skateboarding. It's a very against the man. They don't like big companies and stuff like that. And so they're so against like even talking about money or even making a lot of money. So I had to remove myself from my friend group to focus on being surrounded by, I still love them, but I just needed to surround myself by people who are starting businesses, who own businesses, who are growing and doing more things. So I'd say that was one of the biggest things, was just that mindset shift, was just being surrounded and absorbing that type of energy, because I had so much imposter syndrome. Even today I still deal with it. And I think we always and forever will. But it's just when you're around the right people, they really empower you to become your best version. And everyone that I've met that's a business owner wants nothing more than for you to grow and to climb. It's like all your old friends and your old family that are like, why are you doing that? And they like try to like drag you down back to their level. I'm like, no, I want to keep growing. I want to keep doing new things. I want to do things that scare me, that are, that it's new and it's new territory. So networking and just having that close group of friends, like the 5 closest people around you, or like who you become or who you are, I would just lean in on that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That helps. Yeah.
There you go. Karen, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks, JJ, for putting this together.
Nathan, you're on with Eric.
I had a question about streamlining my content, because finding that I'm spending a more significant time than I want to, like creating content, thinking of ideas, stressing over what to post on like Instagram, and then I have it set up to where it obviously posts on Threads and on Facebook too. So like one is just having everything connected, but I want to spend less time doing that and like more of a like have less of my brain space thinking about like what to post or like how to post 3 times a day. Because I know the answer is like just post anything, like just keep your audience engaged so they know you, like you, and trust you. But do you have any like tips and tricks for that?
This content strategy can be very overwhelming and can burn people out. I mean, I still struggle with posting on a regular basis. But the biggest thing you need to do is just document what you're doing. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? You want people, you're not out there to just like only give value in like a specific like way, but it's the value that you give is showing people what you do. So people want to connect with you. My biggest thing, this is something my wife always tells me. She's like, who are you speaking to? Why are you on social media in the first place? Are you wanting to get more deals? Are you wanting to, get more opportunities to film with people? So you need to create an avatar for yourself, like a customer avatar. Who are you speaking to? Why are you making this content for them? So if let's say you're a buy and hold person, you're probably looking for wholesalers. So you should probably be creating your content and speaking to those people that you're trying to attract. So I would just start documenting what you're doing, saying like, hey, we're at this property. We just locked this one up. Looking for more of these deals. If you're a wholesaler out there, just document what you do. Just show people what you do, because people will go to your page and they'll look at the first, 10 posts or something like that. And they just want to see, what is this guy for real? Is this what he says he does? Or is he just behind a desk, like filming like YouTube videos? Or social media content. I want to see this person doing the thing. And if doing your thing is at the computer, then show people what you're doing on the computer. It's like I'm on PropStream, or I'm on this, that, and the other platform. I'm looking for these deals. I'm actively calling people. Show yourself on the phone calling. Show on your stories is really important too. Use your stories a lot to kind of showcase what you do on a day-to-day basis. And just document. I think Bradley said that. He's like, don't make content, be the content.
Thank you for that. That makes 100% sense. Still, when I have like, say like we're recorded a huge long podcast and it's time to cut it up into clips, or even when I pre-do the content, it still seems like it takes a long time to like make sure it's good and then finally post it. And it's only there for like a day, it's a story. And then you got to repeat the cycle, every so often. So do you like use any like, and the answer might be no, but do you use like any like softwares or apps or anything that keeps you that helps you make the content or generate the content? I know.
So so my wife built out, so she uses Notion. Notion is a software that helps organize all this stuff. And when you download Notion, it's a blank slate. It's empty. But she has built out a complete like system where you can upload all your ideas. You can share them so other people can join it as well. If you have people on your team or someone else that's like next to you, they can also join in and add comments, or they can do stuff like that. So Notion is what she uses. I'm sure when we have when we start to do like our little workshops, we'll be able to break that all down, because I can't explain what it can do over a Zoom call, but it literally does everything. And it was what we used to harness Pace's content machine. Idea moves over to filmed, moves over to currently editing, moves over to thumbnail needs to be created, moves over to needs revisions, goes over to scheduled, and then once it gets posted, it gets moved over. So it was like a full conveyor belt. Everything was systemized, processed. It was very highly organized. If you ever needed to resort back to something, you can find it easily. Everything's written out. There's links to all your media files. So like everything we uploaded, all the video files were in Google Drive. We post a link in Notion to that exact Google Drive. So when the editors go in there, they click the link, all the footage is right there. It's highly organized. So we use Notion. Hopefully that.
Wow, that's a bomb, because I'm looking at it right now as you're talking. And,
Notion was huge because we used Monday, before, but Monday's like an Excel file. Like it's just like a bunch of lines. And to me, as a visual person and a creative, that was just like made me want to throw up looking at it.
Yeah,
It was like, I can't even read this. Like it doesn't make sense to me. So that's why we switched over to Notion, because it's very visual. You can have like what we would call a card. So you would create a card for, let's say, like the top 3 things you need to know in real estate. And you would click that and it would open up and have all the different links. People can comment on it. People can leave messages. You can upload thumbnails like, hey, what do you think about this one? You can leave a little like thumbs up on it. Good to go. That can move over. So you can do everything on Notion. It's incredible.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm looking at that. So you're super organized on that. I can tell like the software is
Yeah,
built
and
out for
again,
that.
it's very visual because it was like a card and you can just move it around. But like once you click it, it has everything inside of it. So it's very easy to visualize. Here's the idea. Now it's moving down the pipeline, and there's a search tab, so you can type in. If we were going to Utah, like Utah event, and I could search that and I would be able to find it. So it's very, very powerful.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
if I could ask one quick thing, is just if you differentiate, like when you make content, you want it to stand out a little bit, but you don't want it to be so different that it repels or doesn't attract the people that you want to attract. Do you ever like battle in your mind like what you post? Like is this going to be like too different and weird, like at the risk of being weird, or is this like that you don't want to be like doing the exact same thing as
If
the
you
next
like
person?
it, then you do it. Just be yourself. Your vibe, Pace says it all the time. Your vibe will attract your tribe. The people that like what you're doing, they will resonate with you and want to do it. You don't have to fake yourself or try to be a certain way. Just show up as your authentic self. If you like heavy metal, then post stuff that's like, that has graphics and stuff like that. Or, or like you really like the color green, then have some green in all your text on your Instagram stories. Like kind of brand yourself and just be who you are and be what you like, and people will resonate with that. Don't worry about what people don't like. I think even Rick Rubin, I don't know if you've heard him talk about that. He's a master producer, made like just records upon records. He doesn't even know how to play an instrument, I found out. But he produced all these massive like platinum hit albums out there for the music industry. And he's just like, I create stuff because I want to create it. I don't create it for other people. Once you start creating for other people, you lose yourself and you lose your creative, you just become like a kind of like a clone. You're trying to be someone else. Just be who you are, be authentic to yourself, and just post whatever you want.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, JJ, for having me on.
Nathan, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. You're on with Eric. What's your question?
Hey, Eric, I want to say a couple things. You caught me in a moment at Squad Up when I met Pace and Jamil, frankly.
Okay.
I didn't even like understand that Jamil was there because I was just so happy to see Pace, and I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, I hope I see that photo. And then you made it available. So I just wanted to say thank you. I came on here to say thank you.
I shot 4,184 photos at Squad Up Summit, and I had to edit those. I edited those in like a week. And then I posted those all up for everyone to have. I wanted everyone to have access to it. Even if you weren't there that day or if you were in that room, I just want to have everyone to have access to see the whole event. So I'm glad I was there to capture that. That's awesome.
I was like, I hope I see that, right? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, Eric,
I'm so glad you got that. That's awesome.
And then I did want to ask you a question in line with what you were saying. So you had to have a whole set shift.
Yes.
Was there a book or any resources beyond the circle that you had to change that you leveraged?
I'm not a big reader. All these books, those are all my wife's. Those are not my books. So I'm a podcast person or I'm an audio book person. But I think one of the biggest things that changed my perspective is I think I found them on YouTube first. It's called like Mindset. I think it's Mindset or Motivation Mindset, something like that. You'll see it. There's like an M, but there's also an app called the Mindset app. And it's just these clips from the top speakers of the world, the David Goggins, the Jordan Petersons, the, Eric Thomas, all these people. And it's just, it speaks those like positive words into your head constantly, because we're constantly on social media hearing all this negative stuff. There's political stuff we're hearing. There's all these horrors and tragedies over the world. And, there's all this self-doubt that is in your head constantly. That's like, I'm not good enough for this. I can't do this. What if I can't? Listening to the Mindset app on a daily basis I think it changed the words that were in my head, that I was telling myself that I'm not capable enough. It's all these like just self-talk, all these like, these gurus that talk about how you need to, step up and do the thing. And there's so many different things on there. I mean, there's like Will Smith is talking, and then there's like Steve Harvard, the guy from Family Feud, whatever his name is.
Harvey.
Yeah. There's a ton of really good content on there, and you can even categorize it by like, are you wanting it to be money related? Are you wanting it to be like business related? So you can kind of like categorize like what they talk about. So it's kind of like custom tailored to what you're in the mood for that day. So you can even choose by speaker, and they have it organized by by type of person. So if you really like Mel Robbins, like more of like a female voice, if you want to hear more of that resonates with a lot of women. Like if you're listening to David Goggins, you're like, I get it, but like I'm a female. I don't really resonate with this like hoorah, like Navy SEAL type of like. So it's really cool because they just have a lot of different people on there, and so you can vibe with your tribe, the people that resonate with you. Like, oh, I really like how the way that this guy talks. I want to listen to more of him. So that's a huge one.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I think it's like $50 for a year, and you have unlimited access to it. So.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much. Good to see you. We have Mark and Yvonne Presswood. How you guys doing?
What's up, guys?
Hi. What's going on? My goodness. It was amazing. Hey, I appreciate you taking that shot of us and getting that content for 10X in California.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope. I'm glad. Yes. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. Thank you. She bought me a camera, a D5100. And I'm always in auto mode on this thing. Like always in auto mode.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do with this thing?
You can leave it in auto mode. That's perfectly fine. I mean, you can get into all the technicals of it, but like the most important thing is to get out there and capture the footage. If you're not out there filming, then the gear doesn't matter.
No, I mean that like my money shot right here. This money shot right here in the back. This excites me right here. This is energy, but no, it was.
Are you a concert goer? I'm assuming.
We just got back from Growth Conference, and it was freaking just off the chain.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I mean, just the whole experience. I mean, Grant wants you to he wants to impact you.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to wash that off ever.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Grant's a good guy. I've met him a couple times. We're in his office out in Miami. He's a cool guy.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I saw you moving around and stuff like that, and getting all the shots and stuff like that. And it's about capturing moments and memories. And like you said, you just shared the whole deck with everybody. That's like massive value. Yeah. Massive.
Of course. Yeah.
And JJ, you're a beast. I think you got everybody's phone number at that entire event.
Well, I worked the room for sure, but I didn't get every phone number.
I think you got 75% of it.
Well, we'll see.
But I thank you. I thank you both for spending time with the tribe right here and just dropping it as always.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions or no?
I'm more of a thank you and appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
thank
just
you guys.
seeing people's face light up, it's priceless. That's a thank you right there.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank
yes.
you.
Great tips. Hey, I got a question.
Yes.
A number of people have been sharing their cameras. You've always got a really nice camera there. What if people don't have a camera yet? And there are different variations of smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
They can still use those, obviously. What's your take on the iPhone? Which is they're always Apple's bragging about how good the quality of their phone is. Is that sufficient for starters? But after a while, people want to move to a real camera. What's the
100%. Yeah. So your camera will always evolve. You'll use your camera enough to the point you're like, all right, I'm ready. You'll film enough content that you're like, I want something better. I'm ready to make that move. And then you'll get something a little bit nicer, and then you'll get the next one, and then you'll get the best one. So it's an evolution that is a slow process. You don't have to go out and buy the fanciest camera. The most important thing is capturing the content itself. You want to just get out there, start creating content, because it doesn't matter if you have an iPhone or if you have a Hollywood, quality 20K camera or something. The story is what matters. The story and the behind the video is what truly matters. That's why you're seeing so many people blow up on social media, because they have the ability to tell their story or to tell what they're up to or what they're wanting to achieve. It doesn't matter about the quality. Yes, the quality can come later, but just focus on getting used to that muscle, building the muscle of creating content, putting yourself out there. It's scary, I know. But the more you start to do that, you'll start to critique your own stuff. And like, oh, I could have done that better. Oh, I should have done this. But you won't be able to figure that out until you get through it and do the work yourself. You can watch every YouTube video you want, but until you start going through it yourself, you're not going to learn how to improve. So yeah, start with, if that's all you got, 99% of the people out here probably have a smartphone that with a camera on it. Just go out and start creating content with that.
Great. And short stories, reels, these are things people should start with.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything. There's people that engage with different types of content. There's people that only watch reels. There's people that will just sit in stories and just see what everyone's up to and then exit out. There's people that watch long form stuff on YouTube. So you just want to create a little bit of variety, a little bit of everything, and just spread yourself out there and get used to all the different types of content you can film, because there's not just one style. And just get out there and just start making a mess.
There you go. Eric, great content. We had a lot of good questions. The value of your answers are phenomenal. The fact that you're going to be available on the landscape now, if people want to engage your company, engage your service, possibly engage the service of your wife as a consultant.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge opportunity for you to benefit the real estate community at large, the community that basically knows you. But as I said, introduce you to my dentist and her flock of dental community. What I want to do is help you to grow and expose you to other communities as well. But
yeah, that'd be great.
I just really commend you on what you've done and more importantly, who you are. You present yourself with class, character, distinction, refinement. You're professional every step of the way, and you're the kind of guy people want to do business with. People want to engage. People want to have around them. So, I sincerely thank you for joining us here today.
Appreciate that.
2 last questions.
Yeah.
If people want to connect with you, they're watching on YouTube weeks and months down the line. What's the best way for them to connect with you?
First, Instagram, just my name at Eric Bahlman. I also have my website, Bahlman Media. And so Bahlman is Bahlman, bahlmanmedia.com. Probably the best ways to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook as well. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all like the major things. So I have a pretty unique last name. So if you search Eric Bahlman, you'll find me.
My last question for you, you've been around Pace for a few years and social media is your forum.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a networking group and I'm always talking to real estate investors primarily about the importance of social media to build their business, the importance of being visible.
Yeah.
There are many real estate education communities on the landscape today. Askgrow, Thrive, Sub2, Clever Investor, Seven Figure Flipping. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
That have investors coming every day to acquire the education, to join the community, where they're getting told to bring your Facebook page and join our Facebook group. Oh, I don't have one, we'll create one. So we have investors who are brand spanking new or have decades of experience coming to social media, Facebook, sometimes creating a page to participate with the community. How important is it for the investor today, whether they're new or experienced, to use and leverage social media to build their business?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, it's the new digital business card. Everything is on social media. Even like the major, like Taco Bell and Coca-Cola and Pepsi, like they're all on social media. TV is slowly dying. Everything's going to a streaming service like Netflix, and everything is on social media. If someone tells me that they have a business and I ask them for their Instagram page and they don't have one, I'm like, I can't take you seriously. It's weird, but I can't. You have to have some type of social media presence to know that you're in with the times, and you are engaging with people, and you're making content, you're giving value. It's a digital business card. So when someone says, "Hey, check out my page," I can quickly get a glimpse of what this person is like, what they're into. So that's the other thing that I try to stress about using your social media and just showing what you do, because if all your feed is just talking headshots, it's like, okay, so you're the guy that just is behind a camera and just talks about whatever. I would love to see more authentic iPhone footage of like you at a property, or walking this, that, and the other, or you at Squat Up Summit, or you at a meetup and like shaking hands with people and like, look, all these people we're meeting. You're like, oh, this person is out there doing the thing, and they're actually connecting with people. They actually have relationships. They're not just this solo, like lone wolf guy behind a desk. I want to see the social, it's like social proof basically. So it's so important. You don't have to go viral. You don't have to be the most engaging. You just have to be present on social media. And so when people do come to you, they can take you seriously. They can see what you're up to, and they can quickly vet you in a few seconds. So
I'll tell you, man, that what you've talked about today is so important for everyone on this call and for everyone in all the real estate communities, because you know, being visible and networking and building our brand and letting people know who we are, guys, it's crucial to your business. And here we have Eric Bahlman, who has been, at Pace's elbow for the last 3+ years, as Pace has grown, as Eric has grown, and you know, they have firsthand experienced the result as well as the importance. So we've been very, very blessed to have this young man today as our guest speaker. Yeah. So hey, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, please like Eric's video. Please put in the comments what your takeaways were. Remember, you can get a hold of him on his Instagram, and his Instagram is Eric Bahlman, EricBahlman. Please follow him on Instagram. If you'd like to connect with me, join my networking group, scan the turquoise QR code, takes you to my website, click the register now button. Please register for my group. If you guys are on the call right now and have not yet registered, please register. If you guys want to see my YouTube channel, watch Eric's video and be able to subscribe to see everything that we're bringing into you guys, please scan the purple QR code, and that way you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on the call, don't go away. We're going to get some more quality time with Eric. If you guys are watching on live time, Eric, we'll see everybody else out in the world of virtual networking, right? Instagram and the internet.
Yeah, hope to connect with you guys soon. Thanks for having me on, JJ.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.